Hi, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Talk Chain, the podcast where we get into all things crypto. My name is Matt, and thankfully today, Rob and I are together. Welcome, Rob.
What's up, guys? Welcome back.
So, today we're going to get into a bunch of different things. We're going to go from Buffett, and I want to talk a little bit about VeChain, and yeah, just general things crypto. So, right now I've got the Bitcoin USD chart up, and I have my trusty TA lines that I trust wholeheartedly, and we can see that it continued its trend downward. I got this nice blue line on the downtrend here, and we had a bit of a breakout right at the end of actually just like a few hours ago, but it didn't last very long because we're actually right back down to 14.5. So I don't know. It broke out of that line, but it doesn't seem like there's any clear trend. But it does look like we're staying between around 12,600 to around 17. So I'm just gonna expect it to play around there. I don't know, Bob, if you have anything to add on that.
Well, it's definitely interesting if you bring up, since you brought up Warren Buffett, it looks like the tank started to happen a little bit once that article came out from CNBC, and then really it hit like a bottom there and started to bounce back. And it's really kind of where it was more, I guess, earlier in the morning.
Yeah, and that could definitely have had a play on it. It just seems like really there's been nothing but sort of like negative news with the Chinese miners and the whole coin market cap drama and then this Buffett thing. So I guess fundamentally it seems like, if anything, the media is sort of being negative on it. But I don't know. Do you think Buffett's comments hold any water?
Well, it's tough because Warren Buffett kind of has a certain set of principles that he follows. Like, I know that, well, what he said was, for people who don't know, is I can say with almost certainty that it will come to a bad ending. Kind of referring to all cryptos, but more specifically Bitcoin. Cryptocurrencies don't meet kind of the standard criteria that he operates on. He's looking for something that he can understand, which I'm sure if he put some time into, he would be able to, but it doesn't sound like he has. He's looking for favorable long-term prospects, which it's really kind of uncertain what the long-term prospects of Bitcoin are. Obviously, everyone kind of hopes that it's going to keep going up and that it will have long-term value. But it's not really guaranteed. He's looking for something that's operated by honest people and people that he'll like. And obviously Bitcoin isn't operated by anybody. Nobody knows who Satoshi is, so there's no one for him to actually speak with about it. And available at an attractive price is probably one of the main points. The price is a deterrent for a lot of people, and part of me wonders if the price were to crash, like some people speculate that it will, if maybe Buffett decides to jump in at quite a bit of a discount.
Oh yeah. Well, so we were talking a little bit before about all these sort of figureheads in the financial world who like to say whatever they want about Bitcoin, and people take that for what it is. So I don't know. I was complaining about this because we had Jamie Dimon, so I'll pull up the articles. So it was actually in September when Jamie Dimon got on some bullshit talk show, MSNBC, and says not only that he has like no opinion about Bitcoin, but that it's a fraud and that the currency is just flat out not going to work. So these are aggressive comments, not just like, I haven't looked into it, we'll see what happens. It's just very much like, this is a fraud. So this came out at the end of September, and then MSNBC started reporting that JP Morgan, who Jamie Dimon, I think he's the
President,
CEO of JP Morgan. So in November, stuff starts coming out about JP Morgan getting into Bitcoin futures. So, where does JP Morgan actually stand? And then, of course, we see earlier in the week how Jamie Dimon says that he regrets calling it a fraud, and people are like, "Oh, okay, well, at least he's being honest now about his old mistakes." But I just want to remind everybody that people who are on these sell side analysts, their entire game is selling you an idea and then betting against it. This stuff has been going on for so long, and one of the big companies that has always done this is Goldman Sachs. And there's a great article in Rolling Stone, and I don't usually get my news from Rolling Stone, but this guy Matt Taibbi, I don't know how to say his last name, and the article is pretty old, but he really documents how Goldman Sachs throughout the last century has put out an idea publicly and then bet against it and then gone back on their idea when they decide they want to get out of an investment. So Jamie Dimon going out and saying that Bitcoin is a fraud dropped the price and made it super easy for his firm to go in and buy. And then now he can come out and say, oh, everything, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know what I meant. So don't trust anything that anybody says is my
especially conclusion. Us, I think, is the important part of it. Nobody can be believed. No, it's interesting because the way that he would position it is to say that just because he doesn't like it doesn't mean he should stop his customers from having access to it, just to play devil's advocate a little bit.
Sure.
But obviously there is a motive for him to make the price go down a little bit by, obviously he knows that he's a pretty big figurehead, and then to buy in and sell it later on at a higher price.
Yeah.
But time will tell.
So I agree with you on the Buffett thing. I don't think Warren Buffett is doing this so that he can buy in lower necessarily. I think he's more of an honest dude. He's not a financial bank. I mean, he's like the figurehead of Berkshire Hathaway, but
no, he is the definition of boring investing.
Yeah,
that's exactly who he is.
Yeah,
so
that's true. And Bitcoin's kind of new hot technology, so I definitely get that. So anyway, yeah, who knows? I think Buffett's kind of out of his league right now. I don't think he pays too much attention about tech in general. So for him to make a confident call on Bitcoin, I just don't see it.
Well, sorry, one last point on this. I think it's pretty, I don't want to say it's unanimous that we're in a bubble, but everyone knows that there is a little bit of overextension for certain cryptocurrencies right now. Some things are hyped up as much more than they should actually be worth. So he can say that with confidence, and sure. If and when that eventual downturn happens, it's pretty easy to say that he's right and that a number of people are right. But it's what I don't like is when he says it's going to come to a bad ending, because it's not going to just end it once a crash or a correction happens. It will come back with projects that are more sound, like the cream will rise to the top.
I was going to say the wheat will be separated from the chaff.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right, and that those shitty projects are going to fall when some sort of big correction happens, and overall it's good for crypto. So yeah, I'm not too fazed by it.
No, yeah. So we can talk about some of those ones that are rising to the top right now, actually.
Yeah. So looking at the wheat and getting rid of that goddamn chaff. So Ripple, God, I wish I sold Ripple when you did, because it's under $2 now.
Yeah, it's taken quite a bit of a tumble. Part of me wonders if this is still based on that Coinbase speculation and that it really has never kind of come to fruition. Yeah,
I don't know. And, it's been relatively clear that they'll tell people when they want to tell people that they're adding the coin. But I don't think I want to wait around for that if Ripple's just going to keep trickling back down under $1. I mean, it's been hyped more than I expected it would, and I'm still up, but I don't know how long I'm going to hold this for.
Yeah, no, I sold it as it got under $3 because I got a little scared there for a while, and I know I've taken some losses recently, so I've been trying to salvage myself a little bit. But it's it'll be interesting to see where it falls to, and I think wherever it does kind of rest, we'll kind of have a better understanding of what the actual value is without a significant amount of hype of something that may or may not happen in the near future.
Yeah, well, it seems like the whole Coinbase addition, like that's all hype. There's nothing really behind that, but like in terms of functionality of the token or the coin, whatever you want to call it, like it has a lot of financial institution backing, so that's one thing that can sort of bridge between actual functionality and use cases. So I don't know, it could have potential. Is it number three long term? I think it's asking a lot. I don't think it's that impressive, but the fact that it has a lot of financial official backing, I think that's very attractive for a lot of people.
It is, and like that's kind of the entire point of Ripple is that they want to be associated with the banks,
Right.
and they know that brings a significant amount of power. Where something like Stellar Lumens, well, kind of based on a similar premise, it isn't really interested in associating with the banks.
Yeah, right. And it's good that there's options out there for both, and that's sort of what's nice about the entire cryptocurrency market anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah, so well, why don't we shift gears a little bit? So we were talking about coins that have something to offer and coins that don't. So we've sort of taken a dump on Tron more than once, and we're not going to talk about them very much, but just to mention they're 12 cents. So they're out of the top 10, but one coin that has been on a tear pretty consistently since, I don't know, it's been maybe a couple months now, is VeChain. So
VeChain, yeah, up 37% today, actually.
yeah.
What price did you get in at?
So I got in at like 30 cents, 40 cents.
Really? Wow.
But, in hindsight, like I wish I had bought more. At the time, I bought a bunch of Stellar Lumens, and I bought a bunch of Request Network, and I bought a bunch of VeChain. So I thought that these were all interesting projects, and I just went in. Little did I know that VeChain would be up above $6 at this point, while Stellar Lumens is still floating below $1.
Right. Yeah. Well, you can never predict the future on that one. So, what was it about VeChain that made you interested in it?
So I'll be honest. When I first bought in, I was just sort of sold on the hype. So there was a lot of hype around this coin, people talking about the future. But I did do some reading on the coin, and it seems like they don't really have a white paper. They have sort of a non-white paper, which is just kind of an outline of what they want to do, and it reads like a white paper, but they're not calling it official. And Rob, you really need to read this because there is a clear English translation problem where it seems like a 10-year-old wrote this. And so when I started reading this, I was just like, I might want to sell all of my VeChain because this looks like complete trash.
Wow.
Yeah,
do you know where it's based out of, where VeChain is based out of?
Yeah, it's a Chinese company.
Okay. So maybe it's another Tron syndrome where where there's a little bit of a translation problem.
That's what I'm guessing. And so I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and, take that for what it is. But when I did more reading, it really seems like the coin actually has a lot of potential. So for those who don't know, VeChain sort of, it's difficult to explain because they have a giant potential use case, but you have to like pick narrower ones so that people can understand. So the one that they're sort of starting with is counterfeiting. So a big problem in pretty much all things products, all things brand names, is counterfeiting. And it's very difficult for people to understand whether or not a product is legitimate or counterfeit in any market that you're buying. So one of their applications for VeChain is to have a barcode on a product, their goal would be all products that you scan with your phone, and using blockchain technology, it can tell you whether or not that product is where it came from, who the manufacturer is, where it was sourced, who the retailer is that own it, and who the previous owners were. And then it'll tell you whether or not that product is authentic or not. So the the COO of VeChain is a guy named Sunny Liu, and he was a former chief informational officer of Louis Vuitton. So he knows very much about the
Wow.
luxury brand business. And so it puts him in a really good place to sort of understand what the supply chains need and what's sort of missing from the industry that could really help. So it seems like his ultimate goal is to get rid of counterfeit products, or at least like take away from them, so that consumers are protected and that products or profits can be put in the hands of people who actually put in the effort to make the item.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. So would that operate on separate blockchains? Would everything kind of operate on their own individual blockchain? Is that the premise of it?
Yeah, so they want their own blockchain, and I think it's in development right now. So they have an app developed. It's not, it's not fully integrated, but they have a good app to sort of demo how the product would work. And there's some like conference videos of them showing how it works and everything, and it's really neat. So the whole idea is you scan this product and it'll tell you all of these different things. So you can imagine how this could be functional for a bunch of different things, a bunch of different use cases. And one of the other ones that I think they're really looking forward to using is just all sorts of businesses that have a lot of different companies in a supply chain. So there's a lot of issues with communication between different members of a supply chain usually.
Right.
And there's various amounts of reasons for that. But using blockchain technology, their hope is that companies can input some information about a product that they're making or a product that they're shipping or something, and then other companies will contribute to that information of the product, and then it'll sort of help with a lot of logistical problems that large companies have. And
yeah, that would be interesting. It would be interesting to see some real world applications. Like, so for example, I know that Walmart has one of the most complex logistical systems in the world.
Sure.
It would be interesting to see like how something like VeChain could come in and affect it. And just like from an organizational standpoint, because I know it is kind of a disaster from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be interesting.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure exactly where they'll position themselves in like specific companies, but it seems like it's going to be tailored to the type of company. So yeah, Walmart is they just have a million SKUs, right? So their whole idea will probably be to sort of to make it easier for different members of the blockchain or of the supply chain, sorry, to communicate with one another. So they're really trying to make this ecosystem. And I think the last use case I want to make is on stolen goods. So every single product will have this barcode, and it's going to tell you where the product has been, who's owned it, what materials made up it. And so the retailer who has this product in its store is going to scan it and is going to say, this is my product, it belongs to me. And that'll go through the blockchain as authenticated as this is the owner. So somebody who's going to steal that product, it's going to have a barcode on it that will make it useless to sell on a black market because it'll already be tied to one owner. So I think there's a really interesting application in security for this product that that nobody's going to want to steal a product that can't be sold because you'll be able to authenticate it using the VeChain.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you'd see pawn shops go out of business pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, because they're all stolen goods, right?
Yeah, no, that's definitely interesting to see some real world applications. I know that they had a partnership announcement.
So this is the other thing, is they're partnering with the goddamn world. There's so many partnerships. I wrote out a list, and I'm not going to go through them all, but like the car manufacturer Renault, they have an RFID chip producer, some medical companies, some publishing companies, and one of the most interesting things actually is PwC, which is a consulting company.
Really? Yeah.
And they actually have a strategic partnership with them. And one of the talks I saw, one of the PwC guys got up there and started talking about VeChain and all the potential it has and how much they're backing it. So, and this company is no joke. And I think, together it's going to really help them get into different industries. and it seems like VeChain might have a potential in a lot of different industries, even though the COO really seems to like the idea of luxury products.
Yeah, no, that it definitely sounds interesting. It looks like they're just past $1 billion in market cap, almost two actually. So this looks like they have some room to grow. They're number 31 on crypto market cap right now. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here, especially when you see some projects without any actual products or any actual partnerships doing so well right now.
Yeah, well, so that's the nutty thing, and we were talking, I think, Monday about it. How Tron's got the crypto doggies. The crypto doggies. That's it. Like, it's a joke. It's a meme coin. And like VeChain is legitimate partnerships. They already have an app. They have a lot going for them right now. So I'm not surprised that the price has gone up as it has, and I see it continuing in that direction.
Yeah, well, I do too. I feel terrible that I sold it at like $2. To be honest, I want to say I bought it around like 90 cents and sold it around $2. The problem, I just have the attention span of a squirrel. It tosses me all over the place. So it does result in some losses from time to time. But
well, not even losses.
It's definitely not even losses, but opportunity costs is high in my world.
Yeah.
So it's definitely interesting, and I look forward to.
Well,
maybe I should get back in. I don't know.
Any dips that go on, I suggest you start buying it up.
Yeah, maybe we should start some fun about VeChain right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I should have said more negative stuff. But really, the only negative thing I have to say is that disaster of a non-white paper. Like, you will die laughing because it's just so, it's embarrassingly bad. So I think they're doing some rebranding right now, which would be really good for them. It would definitely put them on the map more in the United States, given that it is a Chinese company.
Yeah, no, that will be interesting to see how that develops further.
Yeah. So other than that, just overall the alt market was down. I think this morning I saw that the total market cap of crypto was under 700 billion, but we're back up to about 725 billion, which is a good sign. I don't know if you have any.
No, it just looks like some projects are making a turnaround here, and it seems to be some more legitimate projects that are making their turnaround. So you can really kind of see what's standing out, and that might just be based on whatever news has come out for some of those today. But you are seeing some of the ones that were kind of popping for no particular reason. Like Stellar Lumens, like Cardano, they're kind of going back to their base level of where they were kind of, well, at the beginning of the year, which is 10 days ago. But
yeah, no doubt.
But
crazy.
But yeah, you're kind of seeing, I don't want to call it a correction, but yeah, it is kind of a little bit of a correction just to where everything should be.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to call it a dip just because I don't want things to go down enough to warrant a correction, but I'm with you. I think overall it's good if we don't see just a parabolic movement to the moon, even though it would be great to just retire tomorrow.
It would be ideal for both of us, I think. Just early retirement is the goal here, I think, for most of the people involved in this crypto world.
Sure, it would be good. So other than that, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe or leave a comment. Call us a-holes if you like. Definitely,
preferably Matt.
Definitely like our video, and if you're interested in getting involved in or getting on Binance or KuCoin, we have our referral links there, and definitely click mine because Rob's are definitely piece of shit referral links.
Now we've done studies that my Binance followers will get higher returns.
Yeah.
That is not guaranteed or financial advice.
Oh, good. Yeah. Actually, that's the first time we've said that none of this is financial advice.
Well, none of it is.
Remember
that going forward.
All right. So with that, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.